Hey, welcome back to the channel. Please terrify the like button and subscribe to Stories of the Strange. In today's episode, we are going to talk about a very popular story that happened in the late 80s to early 90s in China, Peking. So the story goes by. There was this bus that had night shift in Peking. It carried two passengers, a very old man and a really young guy. Everything went on well and the journey was quite long. A 2 to 3 hours bus journey. Everything was okay with the conductor and they actually moved. They were just two in the bus. It was around 9 p.m. in the night. So finally, after 30 minutes of ride, they stopped at the first bus stop and carried this strange man, middle aged. The man had a very big black coat and a big hat. He entered the bus and sat down. He sounded strange and calm, but nothing peculiar or particular about the man. The bus continued and everything was fine. Everything went on well for them. The ride was okay. Until the next stop 15 minutes after, they carried another strange person. This time, it was a younger guy but equally had the same type of dressing, a very big black coat and a hat. They carried the man and they continued their journey quietly. The third bus stop was an hour later when they carried this young woman. The woman entered and sat down. These three strange people sounded to actually know each other because they started speaking, but they spoke a different language from the local language. So people actually looked at them for a while, but finally turned out because it was not particularly surprising. People can actually have foreign languages and speak other languages. So these people spoke and nobody heard what they were saying. At a certain point, the old man started accusing the young man of having stolen his money. This young man was surprised and was saying he did not steal any money. He does not even know the man. He was not even close to the man. He started making a whole scene. The old man did not leave it and was like, "You stole my money, you stole my money." He declared that this man stole his money. The story actually went a little bit further and a little bit violent, and the conductor had to stop for a while to actually understand the situation. The old man was asked, and he actually claimed that this young guy actually went close to him. The young man with whom he entered in the beginning actually went close to him and actually stole this money from his bag. The young man, all in tears, actually promised that he did not touch the money. Finally, after a lot of disputes and a lot of things, the conductor got tired and angry of these people and asked them to drop out of his bus. This young man was raged and furious and went down the bus with the old man. After going down the bus and after the bus having left, the young man turned and told the old man, "But why did you lie? You know specifically well I did not take that money." The old man turned to him and tell him to shut up and tells him that there are things you cannot know now, but I saw this coming and I just saved our lives. I actually pretended to have this conversation with you so we will be dropped down before the worst happens. This young man was still skeptical until the next day where that bus was actually declared missing. What could have happened? Nobody knows. Finally, three corpses were found. The structure on the corpses were integral, but these corpses were in petrification. This was not possible because the three people were alive the day before. The level of petrification was too high for something that just died a few hours before. How was this possible? The young man was shivered. He could not speak. He could not stand. He was stunted. He called this old man, tried to contact him, and asked him, "How did you know? How did this happen?" The old man did not reveal to him up to today how he actually knew about it. Investigations were carried out in Peking. The news flew around. People asked questions. People were so disturbed about everything, but nobody had answers to it. It went so viral that even the Peking news actually related the story and tried to understand what was happening. Investigation, scientists, paranormal specialists actually went into the story and nobody could understand the level of petrification of these people, not to talk about the bus being missing. Finally, things became so skeptical that people got scared in the country to even take a bus or to even have transportation, public transportation. The government had to now write another paper to demystify this story, understand the story, and tell the population that no, this was not actually how it happened. Give another version that was better demystified. But the true thing is, how did it happen? Things got better in the 90s and people actually forgot a little bit about the story, but up to today it has never ever been discovered how it happened. Could you have a clue? Maybe. On the second story, we are going to talk about Little Maria. Little Maria was a Mexican born in America of Mexican parents. These Mexican parents decided one day to travel through a commercial helicopter. They took off a flight with three other passengers and a pilot. Everything went on well throughout the flight. Everything was going pretty well, sounded pretty well until this helicopter crashed. The helicopter crashed in a little jungle and this girl actually found herself unconscious. Everyone seemed dead until little Maria actually got up, turned around and could not see anyone. At the time, being 14 years old, she could not really determine exactly what was happening. She walked a few miles and finally started seeing parts of the helicopter. She found the bodies of her dead parents, unfortunately, and all of the other passengers, including the pilot. She couldn't get what had happened, she couldn't understand, and was really clueless. With a little geography this girl knew, she decided to follow the sun in order to find her way out, considering what her teachers had told her. Unfortunately for her, in the jungle, the sun can just be everywhere. So this little girl actually started walking around and looking for a place to lie down and find her way. She found this little river, drank from the river, and slept off. The next morning, she got up, looked for a little stick, and started walking back. Parallelly, in America, the news about this crash had already gone around. People started panicking, both families, relatives, and the rest. The news flew around country and everybody started looking for their relatives. Investigations started. The helicopter was traced and everything was asked about, but there was no trace of this helicopter. Investigations went on, and nobody could still tell. Finally, helicopter itinerary was finally traced and the corpses were found. On reaching there, the police realized that one corpse is missing, that of Maria. Where could she be? Could she have survived? The possibilities and probabilities of this were really slim, but then again, her corpse was not there, so investigation and proper interrogations had to be asked. This gave a little hope to the investigators and they started searching around. Maria was nowhere to be found. Maria was nowhere to be found. And 5 days later, after thorough search, after thorough investigation, after being missing for that long, she was finally found unconscious beside a stream. She was rescued and brought back to America where she had proper medical care. On getting up, she was asked a few questions and finally all she could actually remember from there was having a crash, getting up, looking for her way, and finally fainting. After leaving the hospital, Maria's story went around town and people tried to get interviews from her. During the interviews, she claimed that the reason why she had survived for so long in a jungle with no food and probably very little clean water was because of wolves. Now, the question feels, how is it because of wolves? She explained that the wolves will come and now and guide her. The wolves will give her food. The wolves will bring her fruit. The wolves will look for food, hunt, and she will make a little fire. How is that possible? Wolves are known to be wild animals. The story did not sound real until she had to prove it. She proved this by giving very specific details of how these wolves hunted and how they came out about with the food. Maria actually was had to actually adapt and eat. This could not be possible. This does not really make sense because wolves are known to be wild animals. Why would they guard Maria? Why would they surround her? Food to which aim? Why would they bring her some food? Why? She claimed this story and never ever gave another version of this particular story. Finally, newspapers and the local journals actually had to relate Betty's story, and the thing became so popular that Maria became one of the most popular people at the time. Was the story true? Was she hallucinating? Is there a post trauma about this crash? Even if there was a post trauma, then what really happened? If this was not the case, if the story was not true, what was the case? What actually happened to Maria? Nobody could say. She herself kept giving the whole version up to today. Could this be possible? Nobody can tell. If it were not possible, how could somebody survive 5 days in the jungle at that age and at that time? We will certainly never know. Well, follow up for other stories on Stories of the Strange. Please verify again the like button and subscribe to this channel, of course. Thank you for watching and see you